Hello there in the land of YouTube, and tonight I decided to do something different. I was on my way to bed and I watched a video from my good friend Sammy, Falliar517. If you haven't checked them out, you really should. And basically the video is about like horror movies to watch during Halloween. And I was originally going to do my typical video response. Then I decided to do something slightly different. Because I know there's going to be a lot of people telling you some great movies to watch during Halloween, so I'm here to talk to you about some extremely bad movies to watch during Halloween. I'll give you reasons why, and I won't sugarcoat it. Some of these movies are pretty awful. So I've got a few right here, and I may even pull some more out depending on the length of the video, so let's start right now. First up is the New Line Platinum Series film Freddy vs. Jason, and some people actually like this one. But Jason's afraid of water, and it makes no sense. And people try and justify it with he's getting inside of his dreams and stuff like that. But that doesn't quite work. Nor does the Frank's. Actually, you know what? I'm not that masochistic or that evil. So no, you can probably leave this one out of the watch pile, which is probably going to piss off a lot of fans of this film. And I'm sorry. No. Maybe I'll watch Halloween 2, Rob Zombie version first. But I don't think I can get through that again. I'm just a completist. That's why I got it. But anyway, let's get on to the really good crappy stuff that you can watch and have fun with. A Lionsgate edition. You gotta love Lionsgate because they put out a lot of these movies that, uncut that wouldn't come out otherwise, and they put them out in Canada. And you guys go over there in the States, you end up getting them afterwards, or they end up there, type of thing. So here's one of the originals that actually took a while to get out over your way, I think. That would be Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. This movie stars Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey, and you know him because he's won awards and stuff. This is not a good movie. Actually, this is a really, really badly. The ending is really horrible. But Matthew McConaughey is killer in this, actually. He is kind of fun and interesting to watch. I do like aspects of this film. It's not the worst that I've seen. I don't even know if it's the worst Texas Chainsaw I've seen. Let's think. I liked 1. 2 was fun. It rhymes. I like part 3. This is part 4. Oh, yeah, it is the worst. Okay, but you know what? For Halloween fun, if you're going to marathon them all. Come on. Is this really any worse than some of those direct-to-video Hellraiser films that really honestly have nothing to do with Hellraiser except he wrote it in at the end? I don't think so. Slashers. There was a lot of amazing slashers, and then there was the other ones. You can do an entire list on the bad slasher films that just coasted on the good slasher films. And there's a lot of good slasher films. It's an underrated genre. This, however, with Brad Pitt's visage on the front. Cutting Class. It's got Donovan Litch, Jill Schoelen, Brad Pitt, Roddy McDowall, Martin Mull. How can this go wrong? In every possible way, this movie can go wrong. This one, I love Jill Schoelen. She's a fantastic scream queen. I find her really good. She's really cute. And I look for movies with her in them. This was one of them. This is not a good movie. This is not a good movie at all. But still, Brad Pitt's early role. There's Jill Schoelen in this. There's some passable scenes. It's worth a watch. It's the uncut version. Not that I ever thought there was anything cut out of it, because, well, there really, really wasn't. The pain continues. The Devil's Reign. William Shatner, Ernest Borgnine, Ida Lupino, and John Travolta. How can that go wrong? Well, let me count the ways. Dark Sky put it, this amazing edition of Devil's Reign. This movie is really, really bad. Basically, William Shatner goes to search for his dad, I think, and finds Satanist Ernest Borgnine. People's faces melt, and I'm pretty sure this is where the whole Michael Myers thing came from, the mask and that. Watch the movie, you'll understand what I mean. It's it's a whole lot of pain. I'm not gonna. I've actually reviewed this one, but I like this movie. I like bad movies though, and I'm not fooling anybody when I say this is, this is a bad movie. But that being said, it's a good Dark Sky Films release, and so it runs at a quick 86 minutes. So, hey, what I watched last night, Penetration Angst, way, way more painful than any of the stuff I'm going to show you here. Now, if you are into the nudity, Mr. Skin, and really horrible, horribly done movies, then you may be interested in Witchcraft 666, The Devil's Mistress. Maybe not, but Troma put this one out, and it's actually a rarity to get right now. The Witchcraft films are most of these are pretty horribly acted films with a ton of nudity. One actually had Julie Strain in it, which was really cool because she's cute and she acts the best for the type of movies that she can. This is apparently it's a sexy suspense thriller. Will Spanner is the Witchcraft basically main character here, kind of like this occult detective, I guess you'd want to call him. Supernatural attorney at large. The most erratic witchcraft ever. So I haven't actually watched this one since back in the VHS days. I picked it up when the store was closing out, and it said Troma, it said Witchcraft, and I realized this is a rare one. So the Witchcraft movies are a lot of pain, but they're also a lot of nudity. So if you like that, next up is Black Xmas. This is a remake. I thought about putting in a Rob Zombie like remake from like Halloween or Halloween 2, but I'm not going to be mean to you like that. That's just bad. Black Xmas, however, is a really bad film that I can kind of get into. Black Christmas being one of my favorite movies, you wouldn't think I'd actually kind of watch this, but the whole Bart Simpson-ish yellow killer, or sort of. They took the guy from the first one, Billy, and decided they would explain his character, added a twist, and in a way they kind of made him not killing one on screen. Yeah, even if you've seen that, you may not realize that because it's a little confusing, but the killer from Black Christmas, he's not the on-screen killer from Black Xmas. Yeah. This is horrible. They have a ton of sexy actresses. Unfortunately, this is not ones where they are going to be getting naked. These are actually very famous actresses at the time. Mary Elizabeth Winston, Katie Cassidy, Michelle Trachtenberg, Lacey Chabray. You wish these were getting more naked. Maybe that would make it more of a interesting film. Glenn Morgan had done Willard before this. Willard had not done well. He had lost confidence when in directing, and he let the studio pretty much take over this movie here, and it became the mess that it is. But still, there's an icicle scene. Watch for that. Dracula 2000. Actually, I don't mind this one. Jan Lee Miller, of course, has gone on to star in the show Elementary. There's a ton of sexy actresses in this film. Although this is the movie that Rob Zombie considers the worst horror movie ever made. I'm going to repeat that. This is the movie that the guy that made Halloween 2 considers the worst horror movie ever made. Rob. So, again, Rob Zombie. Yeah. Is this a great movie? No, it's not a great movie. Is this like the worst movie or anything like Rob Zombie says it is? No, not at all. Actually, it's a fun little film. Perfect? No. Great? No. Decent? Yeah, it's not bad. Screw you, Rob Zombie, and screw you for screwing up Halloween. To the point where right now they don't know what the hell they're going to do with it. Do they keep going on your train wreck of a way, or... Yeah. That being said, some of my friends love the Rob Zombie Halloween films. Or at least the first one. I don't think anybody loves the second one. I watched this one with my son. In some places that may be considered child abuse, but he likes these type of films too, so... And I really strongly recommend watching this very bad film. It's by Black Fawn Distribution. They distributed it, and it is Legend of Psychotic Force Ranger. A movie that I don't have here that I would recommend as a bad film to watch is kind of a Maniac Cop type of rip-off spin-off called Psycho Cop. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know exactly how bad the acting is in that film and production and all that stuff. So imagine that Psycho Cop had a really, really dedicated fan that really, really liked Psycho Cop and thought, hey, we have to put out more movies like Psycho Cop. Well, there is one, and it's called The Legend of the Psychotic Force Ranger. Yes, this guy is actually a really big fan of the movie Psycho Cop, which somehow made a Psycho Cop 2. Gotta check those out and watch them during Halloween. He just wants to ask you a few questions. The killer in this movie's acting is atrocious. I can only guess that they watched the horrible, horrible Psycho Cop and Psycho Cop 2 and did it like that, because if the people really act as bad as they do in this film, oh my god. Just, you need this one. This is a badge of honor in your collection. If you're a horror fan, you like bad horror movies and stuff like that, and you want to do that like badge of courage, badge of honor type thing, put this in your collection. Watch it. Get your horror friend. Make them watch it with you. Then you, sir, are a hardcore horror fan, and you've passed the bad movie horror test, because that's a badge of courage, kind of like Penetration Angst is. Are there others I can pick out? Yeah, the Hostel 3 was a thought when I was doing this video. And I thought of like more regular stuff, like Bride of the Gorilla, or even Ed Wood's Bride the Monster, but that has its charm in a different type of way. These movies were picked out because basically they were not good movies. They're mostly pretty lousy films, but they're just ones that I particularly like to watch, or that I'll watch every once in a while, because consider it almost a way to clean the palate for a much, much better film. And I'm sure over Halloween, a lot of you guys are getting Halloween sets and stuff like that, like I am. And you'll be getting a lot of great films. The new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, well, the original one came out on Blu-ray. Awesome stuff. The new Godzilla movie that got made recently came out, and it was well done. Surprising. But just so much great stuff out there that is coming out right now. They put out the new Legacy sets again. The Dracula and Frankenstein ones I've seen around at least. And they actually have a couple more movies added on to them, like the Abbott and Costello's added on. And I think the both had both house movies on them. I think I need the Abbott and Costello movie, so I actually may have to pick up one of those sets. And there's so many great horrors and Universals and stuff coming out that you're going to have a wide choice of really kick-ass good horror movies to get over this Halloween. There's a 3-disc Saw Blu-ray set that's going to have all 7 Saw movies on it. If you don't have them and you want to watch them, like kind of marathon them, I'm not sure if there's any features or anything, that's going to be coming out as well. And those are good choices. But what I wanted to give you tonight were some bad choices. Falagar, over on his channel, he will give you some good choices, some different choices, some movies to give a second chance to. These are movies that really don't deserve a chance, but watch them anyway. Watch them in between watching all these good movies, and you'll appreciate these good movies even more because you have seen stuff like this. Go watch Prom Night 3, and you'll appreciate all the other Prom Nights, even the remakes, so much more after having seen Prom Night 3. You will watch the remake of Prom Night 3, and a lot of people really don't like that. I'm on the fence of like thinking it was okay for like a kind of a starter introduction slasher film. Now, when you see Prom Night 3, you'll say, wow, I'm glad Prom Night remake wasn't Prom Night 3, and you'll have a higher regard for that film right there, just because you've seen something like that. When you see The Legend of the Psychotic Force Ranger, you'll be like, thank God blank movie wasn't as bad as The Legend of the Psychotic Force Ranger. You'll say, man, thank God Friday the 13th remake wasn't like Black Xmas. Hey, I'm glad that there's movies out there that have a ton of nudity and the acting isn't this bad. Bad movies have their place, and they have their place at Halloween. October has 31 days, so you can get in a lot of good stuff, but get in some bad stuff too. Let yourself be washed in by the aura of crappy films. That being said, I still have to watch Terror of Dracula. I haven't heard the greatest stuff about it. I did meet the actor and he signed it, and that was really nice. That being said, next year, I got a feeling I might be on this list. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. And for me right now, before I go off to bed, because it is fairly late, and I have a big day tomorrow, it's time for tea. Because just going straight to sleep would be way too easy for me. Enjoy your bad movies with your good. It makes a good scene so much better. Go over and watch Falagar's video now. Thanks a lot.